Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our show, Haunting the Afterlife Radio. I am your host, Susie, and with me is my fabulous fellow host, Brian. How are you, Brian?
I am doing great. I see that you have a fabulous person sitting right next to you.
Yep, I sure do. Things are going to be a little goofy tonight. I can already feel it. So, guys, are you ready to meet America's #1 ghost magnet, Michelle LeBaron? She is renowned. She is humble. She is charismatic. She is creepily amazing and terrifyingly talented. But more importantly, she is kind-hearted and full of integrity. She is loved by so many, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
She is going to be talking a lot about her paranormal experiences into a lot of the locations you guys have probably only dreamed of visiting. And she's also got some crazy cool paranormal videos and audio and pictures and all kinds of crazy cool stuff. But before we get started, on a serious note, chat rules, please be respectful, of course. If you have any questions for our lovely Michelle LeBaron, please try and remember to put them in caps so we can see them better. And that's really about it as far as our chat rules go. And we will also be having a 5-minute break at the top of the hour so you can grab coffee or do whatever you need to do. But with that all being said, I'm going to now hand the mic over to my dear friend, my para sister, Michelle LeBaron. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing awesome.
We're in a singing mood tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Michelle, why don't you start, if you would, by just kind of telling us, the normal kind of thing, like how you got interested in the paranormal. Like, was it a childhood experience or what happened?
What really got me into the paranormal is, growing up, I've witnessed things. I've seen things that was very unexplained. And, but I really didn't get interested in it until my early 20s. I was working a great swing shift, got off at 12 o'clock, and my friends were at this hotel across the way, and they're like, "Come on over, Mish, we've got this Ouija board."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm not sure about that." So I went over there, and they pulled it out, and that sounded bad. They pulled out the Ouija board and had a couple candles going. It was in the dark. It was pretty spooky, got that spooky aspect going. So we were sitting on the floor doing the Ouija board, and I had my hand on the planchette, and we were asking questions, and I asked if it was a man or a woman, and it spelled out woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "What is your name?" And it spelled out Tess, Tess. And then the last name was Fagen, Fagen. And I asked why and what she wanted from us, if she wanted to communicate, what did she have to tell us? This is awfully weird because it ended up being like a story where she said she was in Tahoe and they were taking a train to San Francisco. And this was like early, maybe 1920s, maybe, and said that her and her 2 children were murdered by a man named Streeter. That was his last name. So that's pretty weird. I tried to research it, couldn't find anything, but that was just really bizarre that she spoke to me like that. And I said I had to go. This is my first time ever being attached by a spirit. And this is a crazy story. Um, so I said I have to go, and she's points the planchette to no, and I bring it over to yes, and she brings it back over to no, and she kept fighting me because she wanted to talk to me. Well, nowadays I would talk to her because that's what I do. And so I let go of the planchette, and this was like August, beginning of August. You know how hot it is at night, and midnight, 1 o'clock, it's like 80, 90 degrees. And I was wearing a tank top and shorts. And I started to get really, really cold. And I wasn't feeling myself at all. That didn't sound good either.
Michelle.
Sorry. No, on a serious note, I wasn't feeling myself. I felt very lightheaded, very flushed, very cold. And I kept getting hot and cold, kind of like hot flashes sort of thing. You know, I don't know if you know what those are yet, but you will.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Looking forward to
It's
that.
like a thermometer. It comes up to your legs, all the way up to your head, and you look like a tomato. But other than that, so what happened is I thought, I better go in the bathroom and wash my face and, put some water on me. And I walked into the bathroom, and my friend, I can't say her name, she was sitting on the toilet tinkling, okay? And I put my hands on the sink, and I looked in the mirror, and it wasn't me. It was not me. My face was morphine. And I'm like,
So when you say your face was morphine, do you mean like
it was blurred and like blurry, like something was something was in front of my face, like trying to show itself, but blurring me out. So I'm got my hands on the sink, and I turned around and I looked at my friend, and she's like, "What the?" She's like, "Miss, your lips are blue." I was cold, and I'm like, "Blue?" She goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I don't know." And I kept my hands there, and I looked at the mirror, and the water faucets turned on by themselves, like that. And my friend goes, "Holy shit!" And she gets up, pees on herself.
Oh my gosh.
She goes running out. And so I go back into the hotel room, and everyone's talking to me, trying to calm me down. I'm freaking out. And at that time I was young, and I had roommates, and I lived in this 2-story house off of 9th Street here in Reno. And I have a friend, and she's one of my best friends. I haven't seen her in a while, though, but she is a practicing witch. Very, very talented, very gifted woman. And I actually got in my car, drove home, opened the door into the living room, and my friend was sitting on the couch with her feet kicked up on the couch, kind of leaning, reading a book, and there were candles lit everywhere in the house. And she was looking at her book, and I was standing in the doorway, and she lifted her head, and she goes, "I've been waiting for you." So she knew something wasn't right with me. So what she did is she went and grabbed some sage, and she did, a barrier around all the rooms, all the roommate rooms, so that whatever was attached to me wouldn't release itself and go into, my friends. So she put a salt pentagram with candles in the middle of our wood floor in the living room.
Like regular salt or black salt? Or...
It was, I don't even know what kind of salt it was. It was white. Probably rock salt or something. And she goes, "Get in the middle." And I said, "Okay." And she's talking this thing out of me. She's trying to get it out. She's removing it. She's chanting. And she walks over to the front door, and she opens it. And this is her and I, what we witnessed was absolutely insane and amazing, because I mean, if people could see what really happened, they would have been blown away. So when she came back over to me and was talking out, like, get out of her, blah, 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 doing all the chanting stuff, she goes, get out! And she flung her hands towards the front door. And I kid you not, there was a holographic rainbow colors shot out of my body and went out that front door, and she shut it. And I was myself again. But yeah, that's what got me into the paranormal, because I'm thinking, oh my God, there's so much more out there, and I need to find out what it is. So that's what got me interested.
That's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you guys hear us okay? Brian, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay. So I make sure, because I don't have my handy dandy headset on. So yeah, that's a pretty, intense story. A lot of people would probably be like, that didn't really happen, Michelle.
It was like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I could make a movie out of that shit. That's how realistic and amazing and crazy it was. And it's still imprinted in my mind. I'll never forget it. Yeah. And that was almost 30 years ago. So yeah. God, I'm old. Okay.
You're only as old as you feel. So hopefully you feel young.
I feel very young.
So guys, let's have some questions for Michelle. Brian, do you have any questions? Because I know I do.
Oh my.
Not yet, but I've got some questions kind of circulating in my brain to ask.
And James.
Thank you, James.
Yeah. James is our dude from Ireland. Excited that he's here. So you said that you were like seeing things when you were younger, though, that you didn't really describe. So what kind of things were you experiencing when you were younger?
A lot of poltergeist stuff, poltergeist activity, shadow people. As long as I can remember, that's what I've seen. But other than that, I don't know.
Did you tell your parents? Were they supportive?
Yes, my mother was very supportive. My father was gone a lot because he was in the Navy, so he would be gone for 6 months at a time a year, because he'd be on Westpac. He'd be on an aircraft carrier. And my mom is very gifted, and I believe I got the gifts that I have on my mother's side. My older sister has gifts. My twin sister has gifts. Even my brother has gifts, but he doesn't want to admit it. Because he's seen some things. Let's see.
So what kind of gifts, if you don't mind explaining, that you have particularly?
You know, I don't know what these gifts are called, but I'll walk into a haunted location or someone's house. I mean, I can walk into someone's house, and if it's haunted, I see visual pictures in my head, kind of like a movie. Mm-hmm. And I see these people, and I can tell you exactly what they look like and who they are. I can't tell you who their names are, but I can give you a good description of them. I feel energies. I've felt so many different types of energies. I can't even pinpoint what they are. They're just crazy. I feel, I see, I hear a lot of disembodied voices. Okay. And sometimes people think, God, you're hearing voices, you're probably schizophrenic or something. But, you know, back in the day, too, people that had gifts were considered mentally ill, and they were put in asylums, which is sad. So I probably would have been put in an asylum a long time ago.
I was actually put away for seeing things when I was 12.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
We got a question for you from James. He wants to know, would you use a Ouija board now
At first I used to think to myself, I will never do that again. But now that I know how to ground myself and protect myself, and a Ouija board is a piece of communication, just like a EVP recorder, just like a K2 meter. I mean, it's the same thing. So yes, I would use an Ouija board again.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because that's often a discussion that we have on the show, is the difference between using a Ouija board and just your audio device, or
Same thing.
your camera, or a pendulum, or dowsing rods, or whatever.
Yeah, or even just talking to them without any equipment. You're inviting them. Mm-hmm. So it's just the same thing. It's all the same. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, oh my God, Ouija boards are bad, blah, 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 blah. They could be good, they could be bad. I've had good things, I've had bad things. So, yep.
So on that note, a lot of people say that when you use a Ouija board, you've got to know how to open it correctly, and you have to know how to close it correctly. So if it's true that the Ouija board is just some form of communication, just like an audio device or what have you, does that mean we as investigators should be knowing how to open and close every single piece of equipment we use?
Yes, I would. That's smart. It's very smart. I mean, it's the same. It's all the same.
Well, it's a topic that comes up because, a lot of people say that the Ouija board's bad. There's a specific way, just in terms of using the Ouija board, you have to know how to open and close that, but there's never a discussion about how to do that with the other devices that you're using. So.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, great question, James.
Yes.
Is there like any specific way that you would recommend, like closing a Ouija board session?
I've never done it, but I've seen people do it, and they, it's kind of like grounding yourself and protecting yourself, and you just, they talk and say, "What's that?" "Oh, I love you too, buddy."
Paul's here! Yay, he made it.
I've seen people do it, and it takes some very special people to do it. You've got to be very, very powerful. Myself, I mean, I felt so many different energies. Shit, maybe these energies that I felt are portals that have never been closed. And but my older sister, she's powerful. She lives in Wisconsin. Actually, Lisa and I did an investigation, and my mom was with us at a place where she worked, and there's a portal there. And my sister, she's a priestess.
Oh, really?
And she actually closed the portal from Wisconsin all the way to Reno.
Do you know how she did that?
I don't know how she did it. I mean, I can learn. I would love to learn. I mean, because everyone has gifts. I mean, you should always be open to learn everything that has to do with the paranormal and the spirit realm. Everything. And if someone would teach me, I would do it. I would try.
I know I've been trying to learn about how to reopen myself to the other realm, and it's kind of tough thing to do by yourself, but if you find a good teacher and everything, let me know, because I'm looking to try to do a little bit of past life regression and meet my spirit guide.
Lisa Ludwig could help you with that. Best friend, and she's wonderful and amazing. She knows how to do all that. She does past life regression. She does all of it.
Yeah, you should look her up, Bri. She's I just friended her recently on Facebook, and then Lisa Hawkins and I went to her house with Paul Welch for kind of like a paranormal type of potluck, I guess you could call it. Best Megs I've ever had, guys. Oh my gosh. But Lisa Ludwig is just a beautiful soul, just like Michelle is. So,
oh, thank you.
yeah, find her, and I still need to listen in because I know she does some lives on some readings, right?
She used to. She's getting back. She's slowly getting back into it. She's had some things going on. She had to take care of. So, and she's trying to get that squared away, and then she's going to go back to the force.
And we do have another question. James asked, do you do grounding before and after investigation?
Before, I only if I feel like not quite myself, I'll do a grounding when I leave. But for sure, beginning, I always ground myself. If it's something that I want to go into, I'll only go partially grounded because if I'm fully grounded, I can't feel.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I can't feel. So I have grounded myself and haven't felt much, but when I partially ground myself, I do feel a lot. And yes, I ground myself after the fact. After being partially grounded, I ground myself fully and shield myself as well.
How in the heck do you partially ground yourself? Because, personally, I get attached too easily. And you referred your friend to me who made these special oils and everything for me that really helped with grounding. So on our last investigation to the undisclosed location in Northern California, I used her stuff and I went in. I felt like I was almost too grounded.
Because of the special oils and the properties she puts in those oils. Because she infuses them with different types of crystals as well, I believe. Hi, Jarrett. When I partially ground myself, I pull light from the ground, and I'm always barefoot, and I like to do it on grass, and I will bring a shield of light up my body, and I will stop halfway when I ground instead of having it
really halfway.
And then if I want, because it's partial light. What's he laughing at? I ground myself in my room.
Yeah, Paul.
No, I'm shielding myself with partial light. But when I fully ground, I put a shield from my feet all the way to my head, my back, down to the back of my feet, kind of like a bubble light.
Kind of like, is that what you did to me when we were leaving that one location in Mogul?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, actually, we'll be showing a picture of this later on, but Michelle actually on one of our investigations to another undisclosed location here locally, I became attached to, and she recognized it, and she took me right outside and asked me, do you have a saging kit or whatever? I was like, of course. And she grabbed that and she did this protection thing on me and brought me back to my normal self. And I really do think that was a critical situation because even my dog, our Scooby-Doo that I take out with us on some investigations, he was kind of sensitive, was freaking out.
Yeah. And the thing is I've seen so many people attached and I can feel it. And, we just met basically. We haven't really got to know each other all that well. So I knew immediately that wasn't you, that you just weren't yourself. And that's what that right there. I'm like, okay, let's go outside. I just knew it. and I've had to release things from people. So I know it, I can see it, I feel it, I know all the signs. So
I was very grateful for that. Thank you. Welcome,
You're
everybody. Welcome, Jarrett, Paul, Justin.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Justin. Nice to have you here. Justin's in Tennessee. So, yeah, about that night, that was crazy. And I was so glad you were there because that was really scary. And when that happens to me, I actually don't really have memory of the whole thing. It's like little blurbs. I remember you and Lisa were doing an EVP session, and I came in and I just felt like very sarcastic. Like,
yeah, you were very irritable. I can feel anger coming off of you, and you were like staring off, mumbling. Yeah, it wasn't you. Yeah, those were the signs. That's what got me to say, "Get out. We're out of here."
and I'm so grateful for that because afterwards she recommended her friend Kelly to me, who was able to make specific oils specific to my needs. So she's amazing. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
But yeah, I used her oil, and I think I got too grounded because at our last investigation, I felt so grounded. I really did. But
we had a weird photo. I mean, you know, for me, I thought, well, this photo that Lisa captured as I was giving, trying to pull the attachment um, from Susie, it's a weird photo because a lot of people would probably claim it as dust, but it was a weird light, spectral light.
There were two photos, actually. There were two, and I know we've got one of them. I don't know, Bri, if you're able to. I know you have things put up in a certain way on the live screen, but there is a photo of Michelle doing the protection thing around me, and you'll see these crazy like beams of light
coming out of my back and coming out of yours.
Yeah.
And it was spectral, like holographic with different colors. So it kind of made me question that.
I sent it to my techie, Jen Stubstad, and she couldn't explain it.
It was kind of like that. But
yeah, I noticed a lot of your photos when I was stalking your Facebook for the show. You have a lot of those crazy light anomalies around you, and
like that one.
Yeah,
that's weird. Yeah, with the colors.
Yeah, you have a lot of light anomalies around you, but this one picture was just freaking me out. I was like, and I talked to a friend of mine, and he's very green in the field.
Yes.
But he had an absolutely brilliant suggestion. He said, get an aura reader and have them take a look at the photo and see if it was an aura thing.
I'm not sure. It was just bizarre.
But I mean, to me, it kind of was just like all of the light that we were both investing in that, because you kept telling me. Yeah, there it is. You kept telling me to think about the light, focus on the light. And I don't know. What do you think about that photo, Bri? Oh, go back.
I can't go back. I got it on a slideshow.
Okay. Yeah, what do you think about that photo?
About the one where she's actually doing the saging on you. That was quite interesting, but there's a few other ones that I've noticed that on these pictures that she has these strange light clouds like around her. And I thought it was really, really funny because when I was putting all these slideshows together, I saw the one where she's actually walking down the path in the cemetery, and she's got this big one that kind of swirling from behind her and everything. And I'm sitting there going, wow, she must have had beans that night. And it was just sort of like that. But yeah, it's really interesting to see all these light anomalies.
I did a Skype interview with my friend Dave Miller. It wasn't live, which sucks, but it was for his radio show. And he's like, "Oh my God, Mish." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You have lights, balls of light circling around your head." And I'm like, "Really?" I didn't see it, but he saw it. He was like amazed. And I was in the room where my father passed away. So I thought possibly maybe my father was there with me at the time, because it was that time of year when he passed, when we did that show in that room. So yeah, it's very weird.
I'll get that picture, and I'll actually just put that image up of you doing the saging on Susie. So just bear with me real quick. And
we have a question from James. Well, first off, he says, "Michelle, I feel you attract spirits very easily. Love your pics."
Thank you.
And then he also says, "Michelle, I think he's asking a question, your view on orbs. He believes they're spiritual."
A lot of it is dust. A lot of it are bugs. A lot of it can be a strand of hair, things that are up close to the lens. But when you post things that with light anomalies, and you've got these people saying it's a bug, it's a hair, it's dust. The thing is they weren't there at the time. They don't know what you were feeling at the time. And some of that stuff, I felt spiritual things at that moment. Also, having a visual view of an orb with your own eyes. Mm-hmm. And I have seen that in a cellar with my friend Lisa. We both witnessed it, and I have that on video. That's crazy. The light anomalies that we captured was not of this world. And I have felt a lot of energies, like I said, a lot of spiritual energies. But this one, I don't mean to sound crazy, but made me think it was alien. Alien.
That doesn't make you sound crazy, hon.
But, some can be spiritual. I mean, when I see them, it makes me feel good, because I feel like it's someone there with me. Everyone has their own opinions, Okay, maybe it is dust. Maybe it is hair. Maybe it is, a bug. Maybe it is the Mothman. But nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I get what you're saying.
Expert. Nobody is an expert in this field.
Well, since we are talking about orbs, I'll put up the one. It looks like it's at the Silver Queen. Mm-hmm. With the orbs.
Washoe Club.
Washoe Club. Okay. Washoe Club. That's right. These, I would look at some of them as being dust. And then I would kind of question other ones.
The colored ones.
Right.
The colored ones. The really bright ones, if you expand that photo, you'll see faces in these.
That's the thing, right?
But it could be pareidolia, but we don't know. But it's your faith. It's whatever you believe is what makes you feel good about it. I don't care what someone thinks. If I put something up and someone wants to poo-poo it, go for it. I don't care. This is what I saw. This is what I witnessed. This is what I felt. And I feel good about it. And there are a lot of people out there that like to, shut it down. There's a lot of skeptic people, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. And anyone is, can, say what they want. It's their own opinion. And I never get mad at anybody or like, no, it's not. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's not dust, it's not a bug. No, I said, okay, thank you for your
Yeah,
insight.
yeah.
I'm very happy. Thank you. That's
Well,
about it.
I love your.
But I do have to admit that is actually a beautiful picture. I mean, the orbs are so perfectly round. It looks like there's like little fishing line that's hanging down from the ceiling, and all these orbs are just hanging from the end of those.
It's my disco photo.
Yeah, that's actually really, really a nice photo.
Staying alive.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
But yeah, thank you. That's one of my favorites as well. And Washoe Club is very dear to my heart.
Oh, Washoe Club is amazing. I just took the little $7 tour and everything, and there was a few times that I had to stop and kind of go, did I just see somebody peek around that corner?
It's
And
with all the places that I've ever been and I've ever investigated, and I've been to a lot of places in the United States, this place is my very favorite. This place is the most haunted. So out of all the places, and I've been to Waverly, I've been to Bobby Mackey's, I've been to those places, nothing compares to the Washoe. Nothing.
there's always something that's going on there, and you hear the stories all the time.
Yeah.
Even down in the chapel, where well, they changed it to the chapel and everything, and yeah, there's lots of things going on in there.
You mean the crypt?
Yeah, where the crypt,
Yeah.
but they have the wedding chapel where they kind of converted it. It's to the end of the bar on the right hand side before you go into the crypt. Actually,
Are you museum? Are you talking about Silver Queen or the
Yeah, I
Washoe
think he's
Club?
getting confused with the Silver Queen and the Washoe Club.
oh, I probably am. Probably am the
The
Silver Queen.
crypt, if you're a member of the Washoe Club and you go there during the day and you're by yourself in a museum, go into the crypt. Grab a recorder.
No, thank you.
Grab a recorder, and I guarantee you will get EVPs. It's crazy. That whole place is crazy. I was sitting in the museum and I had my equipment box open, and I was far away from the table, and another friend was away from the table, and the lid slammed shut right in front of our eyes. And it was awesome.
Wow.
We're going there
Yes, we are.
in the
Hi, Lisa.
I think early spring.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I wish Brian could go with us.
I am so jealous. You're getting to go to some amazing places since I have left.
Why can't
Maybe I was holding you back.
he can fly here?
Oh, it's so expensive.
If he gets his ticket now, it'll be cheap.
Yeah, Brian, there you go. There you go. Oh, these flies are horrendous. Yeah, I wish you could go, Brian, but I've never investigated the Washoe Club, and I've been in the paranormal now for going on 10 years.
Thank you, James.
I think when I went, I think I was with Sarah.
But you didn't. You just went for the tour. You didn't actually.
Yeah, I just went. I went for the tour. I didn't do any investigating during the tour and everything. And I listened to the stories and stuff.
I remember when you went on that tour because you left me all alone in room 11 at the Silver Queen, and you and Sarah went and had a lovely time together in the Washoe Club. And I was all by myself.
Yeah, the Washoe Club is crazy active. It's amazing. You know, I was upstairs at night with a small group of people, and I had a girl that was with us, and she spoke Russian. And we were using the PSV7, and someone spoke a Russian word, and she started to speak in Russian.
Wow.
And got responses back in Russian. It was crazy.
Well, when we did a show about Virginia City, that whole area was full of immigrants that came in from Ireland, from they brought in Chinese miners. Yeah, so a lot of Europeans came in into that area to strike it rich, or they were basically shanghaied and put to work in these mines.
Yeah.
So I mean, why couldn't you have Russians there?
Yeah, we even had it was with my older sister, my friend Stephanie, my friend Amy. It was just us girls. That's where I caught the shadow man on the second floor, the full body shadow. That's on my page, I think. But an Irishman came through to us, and we had one guy that spoke, the dialect,
Mhm.
he spoke like he was Irish, and this guy was talking back, and he was asking if he was a mucker and all this stuff, and we were having a full conversation with this miner from Ireland, and he said his name and everything. It was amazing. It's cool.
Paul says that his best piece of evidence that he ever collected was from the Washoe Club, and I know what he's talking about too.
Yeah.
He has a picture. I don't know. I don't remember which room he was in, but you can clearly see a person like standing behind him, kind of haunted from beyond.
Oh, that's Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Mish is amazing. She's such a strong woman. I love you. I can't wait to see you in a few weeks.
But yeah, so it makes me even more excited to go to the Washoe Club, and I really wanted to gather up some peeps who are familiar with the Washoe Club, so I gathered up Michelle LeBaron and Paul Welch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
exciting.
Yeah, both of us have been in there a lot. I probably a little over 20 times.
I'll probably be a little chicken butt.
Close to me.
We'll find out how many times you get attached to.
Oh gosh.
No, she'll be fully grounded when we go in there.
I don't want to be fully grounded. I'll be partially grounded.
I mean, I've even had situations when I was with my friends Amy and Steph, and they had a small group with them, and there was a young girl. She was probably maybe 17 or 18, maybe. And I heard smack like that, and she goes, "Oh!" like that. Something had smacked her backside, her butt.
I've actually heard of other paranormal teams that have gone to Virginia City. Not only did they do the Washoe Club and the Silver Queen, the Miners Lodge and stuff, but it would happen to them on the street.
Oh yeah,
in the daylight.
Yeah, touched everything.
They say Virginia City, you're being watched by spirits in the daylight as you're doing your everyday whatnots, and yeah, they're everywhere in Virginia City.
You don't have to go into a haunted location there.
No.
I've even like 1 o'clock in the morning all by myself, nobody on the streets whatsoever. I basically was roaming the town alone, and I sat on a curb and I did an EVP session and I caught voices.
But didn't you also capture some pictures just walking in the street? I thought you showed me some pictures.
I've got a few. I have. It was winter time too, and I felt something, and I turned around and I took 3 consecutive photos, and I captured a floating woman, floating.
Where are those pics, Michelle?
I have them.
I would want them so badly on the live screen right now.
I believe it's on my paranormal page.
I didn't see anything.
I'll show you.
But I know you showed me that one where there was like a dark shadow figure.
Yeah, that's in the second floor, the Washoe. The one in the doorway.
Yeah. But there was one where you were just like in the street. I thought.
Yeah, it looks like a man without a leg, but I had a couple friends look at it and say it was human. So, it's okay. But it was weird because he was very tall, very lanky. And I didn't see a man walk by when I was taking those photos. But I mean, I don't know at that time, but he was missing a leg.
That was a really creepy picture.
Yeah, you can see his cowboy hat, his boots, and he had one leg. And you couldn't see his face either. You could see right through him. It's crazy. But like I said, I got a lot of that kind of stuff, and I don't know. One day I'll make a huge video and put it out there for everyone to see.
That would be cool. But yeah, with having you and Paul and of course Lisa Hawkins by my side when we go to the Washoe Club, I'll be good. I'll feel safe. Yeah. Lisa, my sister, my soul sister, she's also been to the Washoe Club and I have not, so that's nice.
Yes. But you'll have some seasoned people with you.
Yeah. So
that means that she'll be bait.
Oh gosh.
I'll leave her alone in a room.
What was that? The room in the back?
The room with the doll.
Oh God, I will not do well. I will not do well.
Okay, that's right next to the room in the back with the door slammed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red door or something like that.
Yeah.
I will not do well. Oh. No, I will go by myself if I'm challenged.
But I mean, they've gotten when Ghost Adventures was there, they caught the full body apparition running across the big room in the back.
I took some friends of mine. I'm with their mentor. I'm teaching them the ins and outs of the paranormal, and we all did a meditation inside the ballroom where we all released energy and everything. We had the music and we sat in a circle, and then we put the DVRs on, and that's the time where I had the orb bounce off my shoulder and bounce on the ground.
We'll be playing that video.
Yeah, that one. But they're called Luminosity Paranormal, and they're my friends Sierra and John, and I love them very much. But
they have that awesome video of
the dog running across the ballroom the same night, and it is a dog. It looks like a German Shepherd running across the ballroom, and they slow it down on their videos, and it's just absolutely amazing piece of evidence.
I think we have a question for you, but it's not. Okay, so James is asking, have you seen shadow figures? What is your view on shadow figures?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know what they are. For some reason, I feel like it's, I don't feel very good vibes off shadow figures. So I'm thinking maybe it's just a bunch of negative energy balled up. Or someone that's been earthbound that was a very, very bad person at one time. I've actually seen a shadow figure with my own eyes, just absolutely massive, probably about 7 feet tall and about 5 foot wide. He was huge. And I was in the Washoe Club, and I had a friend of mine say, Mish, come here. I need you to look in this room and tell me what you see. And I'm looking in this room, not feeling anything. I didn't even feel this thing, okay? It came out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, it could be anything, for one. Let me tell you this. It could be something like an interdimensional being. It could be someone from a different dimension.
Well, like you saw that shadow thing on our Goldfield video that came out and attacked Lisa.
Yeah, and I've never heard anyone having good feelings or good interactions with shadow people from what I've heard and seen. But when I saw this thing, it was just truly scary. This scared me more than anything I've ever been scared of. And I was looking in the room, and my friend was to the right of me. And I looked at her, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. She goes, keep looking in there. So I looked in there, and I turned around again to look at her, and it was black. I mean, like to the point where I was blind. I couldn't see anything, nothing. And your eyes, take that in, and you can see the dog in the dark and stuff, but I couldn't see anything. And I'm hollering out to my friend, hey, I'm not going to say her name. Are you there? Are you there? And next thing you know, it looked like she had walked forwards, like towards me, and I freaked out. But what happened, you guys, is that she had stood there the whole time looking at me, not really realizing that this dark black mass had engulfed her. And what it did is it stepped back towards the wall, which made it look like her going forwards. And I freaked. I screamed. I mean, blood curdling screamed. Oh my fucking God, And she's like, come on, Mish, let's go. And she's pulling me into the ballroom, and they're trying to calm me down, and they got me calmed down. And I'm like, I got to face this thing. I've got to face it. So I walked out of the ballroom. I took a left. I turned around, and I saw it. And it was huge, and it was massive, and it was up against the wall, and it was pulsating and making a vibrating noise like, ooh.
Wait, this was at the Washington Club?
Yes.
And you want me to go there?
Yes. And it was making a pulsating noise like, woof, 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 woof. Like the energy was coming off of it. And I turned back around, went back in the ballroom, and I says, we all need to leave now. And we all left. Because it wasn't a very good thing. It wasn't. And this thing, through the many years that I have investigated this place, is a very powerful force. And it's when I've spoke to spirits through spirit boxes, ITC apps, all that stuff, they say that they're always not able to speak because this certain thing won't let them talk. So he keeps these spirits away and tucked away somewhere where we can't talk to them because he won't let them talk. And this has been numerous times. So it's like a total validation every time I go. So, but yeah, he's very powerful and very frightening. Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I captured a photo of him. I have a photo of him.
Recently, and I would have to say probably within the last year, I have been seeing more things out of the corner of my eye. And you know what happened to me about a year ago, or a little over a year ago. I had my heart attack. And from that point forward, I see things out of the corner of my eye. And it's not like and I actually turn and look. And I've actually had other people validate saying, hey, did you just happen to see someone peek around that corner and stuff? And so, yeah, it's getting quite interesting now that I'm actually seeing more. I call them shadows. I don't think they're shadow people. But yeah, that's quite interesting. And there was one area in the Washoe Club that really put me on edge, and that was towards the back. There's that hallway between the doll room and coming back up front. There was something there that
stairwell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something there that I did not like.
On video. And I haven't posted.
Are you guys talking about when you first go in to like have the tour, like into the main hotel, like there's that stairwell that goes up?
No, when you go up the stairs,
I've only been in there once.
You go up the stairs, you turn around the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and the stairwell you can look down, kind of see it goes down. You can look over the stairwell and look down. There is something between the doll room and the stairwell that likes to hang out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've seen it many times. And he's quick, and it's a young person, by the way, just to let you know. I put a soccer ball on the top of that stairwell and captured it moving on its own. And it, you know how the stairs kind of slant a little bit to the left?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ball moved to the right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It was pretty amazing stuff.
And you guys want me to go stay the night?
Oh my gosh, you'll love it. I slept in there for crying out loud.
The other room was the front room that had it was a front room, but the floor had actually
tile.
No, it was wood.
Oh, okay.
It's the one where the floor is kind of rolled because of all the earthquakes and stuff and the building settling.
It's leaning.
Yeah, that room is just very, very disorientating to begin with. And I think from that one, you can actually look out and see where Julia is buried at up on the hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see the church, too, from there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I know what room you're talking about.
Haunted from Beyond's like, you want to go in there. I do.
Hi, my bestie. I love you. Renee Hill. She's been investigating with me a lot. She knows what goes on.
Hi, Renee.
She says, I miss the Washoe. Don't be scared. It's not always negative. That was one time thing. Plus, you got Mama Bear Mish to protect you.
I do. I do.
I love you, Nene. Thank you for joining.
And now we've got Lori Wiley.
Hi, Lori.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Thanks, Justin. Hope you have a great night. Light and love and peace.
Bye, Justin. Thank you so much.
Bye, Justin.
Love and light. Love you, bro.
Yes, my Nene has been there and has witnessed everything that I've talked about.
Well, we're going next year. So, I mean, I've been wanting to go there for quite some time. And even when Brian was living here, we went up to
Virginia City quite a bit when I was there, and I just love the town. The town is so beautiful. They've got really good food. They got pizza down at one end and beef jerky down at the other end that are just opposite and awesome.
I love their Irish nacho fries.
Oh,
have you had those?
No, but Paul keeps freaking talking about it.
But it gives you gas. It's
you
like you're like motorboating through the room.
So does the Red Dog pizza, but the pizza is just my favorite that I've ever had, and I don't even care. So,
but the Red Dog has the bacon Bloody Mary, which is so good.
I've never.
If you ever had it, it's awesome.
Maybe I'll have to try it, but I'm not very into clamato or tomato, but
their garlic chips are really good. They're really good if they put enough cheese on it, right, Nene? This lady didn't give us enough cheese on her garlic chips.
Red Dogs?
Yeah, my friend's like,
maybe
can you add more cheese?
Maybe because they put all the cheese on the pizza they were serving people.
I don't know. It was hilarious.
But I'm excited to go. I'm just
we've gone from paranormal to food.
You can't help it. It's Red Dogs, you know.
Red Dog is bomb.
But but one thing we never investigated, but we talked about a lot, Brian, was the Washoe Club, and we just never did it. So.
Well, at the time, you really think about it. We weren't in a very, very good position to afford it monetarily because it was so expensive. I mean, I had just retired from the military, and yeah, so, and now I'm down here in Texas, so I'd have to actually have it double to come up there to do the investigation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bry.
Not a problem. I can, let's see, I wonder how much gas would cost me to drive.
Well, you'll get enough of that eating Red Dog.
Okay, Michelle is trying to type on my Mac right now. And then we're going to go to break. Oh, there we go. So Michelle just typed Renee and Paul. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, so we're going to be heading to break here for the next few minutes. When we get back, we'll get into the EVPs and the videos, and some more stories with Michelle.
Yay!
Yay! See you guys in about 5.
Bye.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everybody, to our show, Haunting the Afterlife Radio. We are here with the, can I call you infamous Michelle LeBaron?
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. She is lovely. I love her. So we're going to be going over some of her really cool video footage, and which includes some EVPs and stuff, and getting your guys' feedback before she says anything. So, and then we'll just be talking to her more. I still have some questions for you, Michelle.
It says he had something going on at the Washoe Club, the back staircase, before eating or eating prior to. Oh,
we're talking about Paul.
Oh, I was thinking maybe you almost shit yourself because you had to hurry up and get to the back staircase to get down to the museum to go to the bathroom. Was that it? Maybe?
That doesn't sound like fun.
That don't sound like fun. That sounds like a horror story.
So what do you want to do first? Do you want to, do you want to get to your videos?
Yeah.
Or do you want to continue on with some more?
Let's do the videos.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
So,
move
to the video. Do you want to, are you going to put up first, Bri?
Well, it really doesn't matter. I got them all.
Well, because if it's an EVP one, we want to make sure and get the chatter's opinion what they hear.
Okay, we'll do the shoulder bump first.
Okay. Well, because if it's an EVP one, we want to make sure and get the chatter's opinion what they hear.
Hang on, we're having some technical issue real quick. What's going on here? Okay.
Love Zach.
You actually saw that hit your shoulder because it looks like you're following it as it bounces.
Actually, I didn't see it. I felt something like it tapped me on the shoulder, and I heard a in my ear when I heard the. I turned and looked to see what it was, and when we went back to the video, that's what was captured. I felt it. I heard it, but I didn't see it. Thank you, James. I did feel it, Paul.
What do you think about that, Bri?
That is just, that's really nice. I love that one. I would think that would be up there sort of like with mine that came up to the camera, then followed the investigator opposite sides of the room all the way to the other end and then crossed over.
Yeah, the ballroom, sometimes you go in the ballroom, you don't get very much, but I swear to it, if you put on some DVRs, you'll capture something.
Again, that was at the Washoe Club.
Yes.
I've got a question about the Washoe Club. Where did you get the electricity to put up the DVR cameras at?
In the ballroom, there is a long extension cord that comes from the museum up, and you can plug in your equipment.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, because I would love to go there with my equipment, but I didn't know where to plug in at.
That is the only place there, I believe, that has power, is that one extension cord.
Wow.
Yeah, you use your, what do you call those things? Power boxes. What are those? Why can't I think?
Generators?
No.
Power strips?
Power strips, yeah. That's the best.
Is there heat?
Or
No, there's no heat.
In the wintertime, it's horrid. The only time you can really get warm is if you go downstairs and you have your little mini heaters and you sit in the museum to warm up.
Good to know for the spring when we go. Is that why you want to go in May?
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where it's from. He's right. It's from the crypt. There's an extension cord that is on the second floor above the crypt. It is long, and you can add to it and run power when needed. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the power cord.
So is that why you want to go in May? Because you chose May. So it'll be warmer.
Yeah, it's cooler and it's warmer. From like end of October until like end of April, it's freezing. It is so cold. I mean, you can see your breath.
And then, of course, the roads are usually bad until that time anyway. So.
And they usually have specials, too, in the wintertime for you to do overnights.
Yeah. It's usually a little bit cheaper during the winter months.
I think it's half the price.
But I think if you bring your sleeping bag and everything, make sure you get like a foam sleeping pad to go between the floor and it, so the wood doesn't kind of pull your heat.
Sleeping in there?
Why not? I've slept in there. I've slept in the crypt. I've slept in the museum.
I'll be awake the whole night.
When you get tired, you know.
Can you leave if you need to leave?
Yeah,
because they lock you down.
Yeah, you can leave. They give you a key so you can get in and out.
I ain't gonna be sleeping. I'll be awake. I'll be sleeping.
My buddy Renee says I do those heat things in my socks and pockets.
Yeah. Yeah. My investigator Caitlin does that too. Yeah, I don't think I'll be sleeping in there.
Yeah, Paul, I think that's tops for me. Maybe a little over an hour I've slept in there. Like right when we had to leave, an hour before. That's when I left. But that's when I slept.
You're very brave to go to these places.
I know. I slept really well at the Miners Lodge.
Yeah, I slept in there too, pretty good. I fell asleep on the floor.
I never slept well anywhere in Virginia City, not even the Silver Queen. You know that story, Brian, with the creeper.
Yes, I remember that story with the creeper.
Don't laugh, because Jen's stepdad had the same experience as me with the creeper, doing naughty things while we were sleeping, quote unquote sleeping.
Who was doing naughty things?
The creeper in room 11 and 13.
Oh, I've done EVP sessions and had people moaning and stuff, having sex.
It was similar to that.
From the hotel?
My recorder is like, holy hell.
Yeah, my recorder is really, really sensitive. We were actually at a fairly big location, and everybody kind of broke into like teams of two, and Susie and I believe it was Caitlin were doing Susie and Lorena were doing EVP sessions at one end of the location with the door closed. I was at another end of the area with, it was either Caitlin or Tanis, and I had the door closed, and I could hear Susie talking like we were standing right next to each other. And yeah, so I actually had to put like a little sock over the microphone area to dampen down the sensitivity.
What, at the Silver Queen?
No, actually, I think this was when we were doing the trailer. I think it was your trailer.
Oh.
That's when we got the shadow following Tanis out of the room.
Oh. That was a really good catch. That was crazy.
So the next one we're gonna play, it's the really dark one that has the red, blue, and green lights.
Oh, the REM pod goes off in the Hornet. We had some of my friends with me, and I believe the only male that was there was my friend Matt, and he was up against the wall. And I had two people next to me.
One more time, please.
Or something, or
before we go.
Like that.
Oh, relief.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
And I said,
Awesome. And I got that.
Hit that REM
videoed.
pod for us.
Thank you.
And instantly the REM pod
That's
goes
awesome.
off.
How about
So
just
Oh,
the
you guys are
red,
gonna love
round,
this.
circular? One more time, please.
that was
One
on
more
a,
time, please. One more
aircraft
time,
carrier in
please.
Alameda, California, called the Hornet.
The Hornet.
Very active place. James, I'll get to that question in a second.
Thank you so much. Awesome. And I got that.
Hit that REM pod for us.
Thank you.
And instantly the REM pod
That's
goes
awesome.
off.
How about
So
just the red, round, circular? One more time, please.
That was
One
on
more
a,
time, please. One more
aircraft
time,
carrier in
please.
Alameda, California, called the Hornet.
Again, that echo, that lag is just
Very
my
active.
computer.
Very active.
Mhm.
James, I'll get to that question in a second. Thank you so much.
Please. One more time, please. Before we go.
Oh, relief.
Thank you so much.
That was nice.
Awesome. And I got that videoed. Thank you. That's awesome. How about just the red, round, circular? One more time,
Are we
please.
back, right?
One more time,
Yeah.
please.
Oh.
One more time, please.
So yeah, that was a
Please.
pretty amazing
One more time,
investigation.
please.
I absolutely
Before
love the
we
Hornet,
go.
and if you ever
Oh,
have a
relief.
chance,
Thank
to
you
go
so
out there,
much.
That was nice.
do.
Awesome.
It's a
And I got that
wonderful place.
video.
It's filled with a lot of spirits. James says, "Have I ever been touched at a location by a spirit?" I get touched a lot. Sometimes I don't claim it out loud, like if something touched me, I just let them touch me. I've had things rush at me, especially at the Washoe Club. You can hear cowboy boots or boots on the wooden floor running at me. There was one that ran at me so fast that I jumped on my friend's back because I was the last one. I'm always like the last one to go down the stairs or, out the door, down a dark hall. I mean, I'm good with it. I mean, I'm not scared. I love doing that stuff. I'll go in first too. So, but yeah, I have been touched.
Susie had that happen to her during an investigation also, being rushed. And then Tanis had the same thing happen to him when we did Grimes Point.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
I'm from Fallon. That place is crazy.
I was able to debunk some of the stuff out there at Grimes Point. They say the spirits illuminate and they go up the hill.
Yeah.
It's little trail markers that the headlights of cars hit
Yeah.
that reflect these little white things. And of course,
Seen visual. I've always captured EVPs, like in the
Have you?
caves. Yeah, in the caves.
we caught bats.
Yeah.
Well, not physically caught them. We caught them on the recorders.
Well, thank you, Paul. Paul said the cool thing about Mish, other than she's awesome,
Oh,
Yeah.
you sing it, girl.
is that you are investigating with her. You will catch amazing EVPs. Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Oh my gosh, remember when we went to Markleyville and you literally just did like a little 10-minute, if even that,
A couple
session?
2 minutes spurt.
Yeah.
1 minute.
And we captured, I don't know what it was
a
saying.
woman.
But
They didn't want us there.
yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't normally practice that, those little EVP spurts that you do. I like that you do that though.
Yeah, it's better that way. And I like doing it live that way because then everyone can see it, live it, you know. Also, you don't have to go through 4 hours of investigating audio. You just do the 2 minute spurts, 2 minute spurts, 2 minute spurts, and you capture. I mean, I don't think it's very rare that I haven't captured anything not on a 2 minute spurt. I always capture some stuff. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about that on your EVP sessions. I think the shortest time that I've actually gone was like 15 minutes. Other times it's like an hour.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, when you go through everything that you record, everything that you video, how long does it take you to process all of that?
Well, I always do it in spurts because it's less time, you know, I don't have to sit there and listen for oddly hours of the night listening to all of it. So I do small sessions because sometimes people, you know, they'll watch video for 6-7 hours and sometimes they have multiple cameras. So say you have 4 cameras at 6 hours apiece, you're watching 24 hours of video.
Oh yeah, Brian knows.
Oh yeah, I said
you might have captured the Holy Grail and not even known it because you lose interest or you fall asleep. You know,
I had 8 cameras set up at the Miners Lodge, and mine automatically records on motion. Well, I didn't turn them off, so it recorded from 8:00 p.m. when I set them up until 8:00 a.m. So there's 12 hours times 8 now.
Yeah.
And I did actually go through quite a bit of it. It took me quite a long time.
You didn't go through all of it.
No, I didn't go through the part during the daylight. But I did actually capture some really interesting things during the whole night. Out of I think it was only 3 cameras that actually really captured a lot. And then I had overlapping cameras, and it would show up on one and not the other.
Yeah, Paul said, Mish, remember the math question in the schoolhouse at the Benson Grist? Yes, I do. It was myself, Paul, his buddy Zach, and Matt Henderson. And we were in the schoolhouse, and we were sitting at the desks. And I walked up to I said, let's do a recording. And so Paul recorded, Matt recorded, I recorded, and I said, okay, let's do an interactive thing with the spirits. Let's see if there might be, you know, a child or something. I'm going to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. So I walked over to the chalkboard, and we did capture a young boy. I guess his name was Brian, I think. And I'm like, Brian, what's 2 + 2? Can you tell me what 2 + 2 is? And I did it on the chalkboard, and it was played back. And the young child said 4.
Wow.
So,
you're giving me chills.
Yeah. And Paul was there to witness that. It was pretty amazing. Benson Grist Mill is amazing. Beautiful place.
Never heard of it.
Oh my gosh. I think you only pay like $20 a person and you have the place all night. And it's
Where is it at?
In Utah.
Oh, no wonder. Never
yeah.
heard of it. I don't get out very much. Wow.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. I have to come back, Paul. I would love to be there. $20 an hour. And that's $20 an hour. So if you have like 5 people, that's $4 a person for an hour in there. It's an amazing place. It's got multiple buildings. And just from this, I see that Paul said there's a cemetery just beyond the schoolhouse, and I had no idea. I love that place. Oh my God, I loved it. It was an adventure, for sure.
Let's talk about some, before we play your next clip, let's talk about Waverly really quick. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Because I know maybe some people are waiting to hear a little tiny bit about Waverly. So how many times have you been to Waverly, and tell us like if it's worth it going?
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, sorry. Paul said, Mish, when you finished the question on the board, you said, oh, it was Johnny. Good job, Johnny. And we captured a little boy saying, thank you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what happened. Yeah, okay, Waverly. Sorry, go ahead.
Right before we get into Waverly, James asked, he always uses dowsing rods. Do you ever use them?
I have used them a few times, but that's not one of my favorite tools. Lisa, on the other hand, my other best friend, uses those religiously, and she's amazing at them. So I do use them. I have used them.
I've used them looking for water.
Yeah.
I've used them
I love
once.
ya. Bye, bud.
Who's leaving? Oh,
Paul.
Paul's leaving. Oh, bye, Paul. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Paul.
And
Thank you
Love
for
you.
supporting all of us. We love you. Okay.
so yeah,
Okay, Waverly.
yeah. Tell us about Waverly.
Okay, Waverly Hills. That place is massive. It's just absolutely huge. When my best friend and I, Renee, we drove down the road, turned the corner, there was a gate, went through that gate, kept going, and there it was. And I swear to God, the angels sang when we drove up to that place, and our jaws just dropped. It was just,
You sure it was angels singing?
oh, maybe not, it was us. But it was a huge building. It's amazing. I captured a full body apparition on the 2nd floor. We also was in the room called the Vault, where they had this woman that was absolutely mental, and they locked her in there with bread and water and locked her in this room for a very, very long time, and she became more crazy. I mean, hysterically crazy. And we captured on an EVP, while we're talking, we captured a woman going, like that. Wasn't my voice, wasn't Renee's voice, wasn't Tammy's voice. Yep, she goes, that laugh. And it sure as hell wasn't Brian. So yeah, it was intense. So, and at one time too, someone had put a pentagram in the middle of the
I've
floor.
heard about that pentagram, yeah.
But that room is crazy. I think I felt more in there than anywhere else in that place, actually. So, but yeah.
Is it worth it to go? Like, because I've heard it can be pretty expensive. I've also heard that you have to go with a group of like 10, whether you know them or not. So
that could be an issue, because you're going to be investigating with people with different energies that can cause negativity. But we actually got the whole place with our group. We didn't have to investigate with anybody else, and it was amazing. We had fun. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, we were down in the chute where they would bring the bodies.
The body chutes, yeah.
And it was myself, Renee, and Tammy, Benjamin. We were sitting down at the vault. We could see shadows at the bottom. But we played back the recorder, and on my recorder it goes, "Oh no, it's Michelle,"
What?
like that in a male voice. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Maybe it heard something about you.
Oh,
Your reputation precedes you.
I guess. I don't know. Knew my name.
Seems like a lot of spirits know your name because
I
one of
know.
the videos we're gonna play soon.
Yeah.
Like, how do they know your name? Well, I've had spirits say my name. Sometimes I introduce myself, sometimes I don't. So I don't know if they're just listening to other investigators saying my name or if they just know. I mean, what do you think, Bri?
You know, I really don't know. I kind of think that they do watch us. They would have to. And I think that, you know, if they're interdimensional beings, who knows? They could be doing an investigation on us. and vice versa. They may be as curious as to us as we are to them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But yeah, I think that if it's an intelligent spirit, a haunt, if you want, I'm sure that they will be able to interact with you and know your name and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I got this when we were at the Genoa Cemetery. I think that was when you were living in Texas at that time, though, I believe, when I was with the team and we went to the Genoa Cemetery, and it's like Class A, and you hear it say, Susan. Oh, I was like, how do you know? I don't know. But anyways, do you want to take on what Renee said?
Renee says worth it. Do it. They also have public ones that are cheaper. And the place is so massive you won't see that group ever again. As another option if don't attend. So it's true. You can't hear. There's just the thing is so massive. Everyone you can split up and not have any type of contamination. It's just absolutely huge. I can't even explain how big it is. It's big. It's a behemoth. It's massive.
Well, I mean, we did the show and we showed the pictures of it, and it's and not only is there just the one main building, but there are other buildings.
Mm-hmm. Lisa and I really wanted to go out there and do it, but they want all the money up front on like the 1st of January, and if you don't book it then, I mean, they pretty much told me that it's booked within the first few days for the entire spring and summer time.
You know, we went to Kentucky and Tennessee all in one big trip, and it was wonderful. We got to do Bobby Mackey's Music World. It's not too far from Louisville. I mean, Tennessee and Louisville is like hop, skip, and a jump. Boom. It's like you step over a line. Woo, there you are. Yeah. And there's so many places. We went to Pope Lick, Kentucky, me and Renee by ourselves to find out about the Goat Man. The Goat Man likes to chase your car after a certain time when you go under the burn pressure. We did that. We went to Mark Twain's Park, where it has a old asylum, just the foundation of it, and it has a tunnel. It looks like it would live in there. That's how creepy it is. But we went in there. I mean, there's so many places back east. Oh my gosh. And the different energy too. What was that? The energy back east and is different feel than it is here.
Yeah.
I don't know if because it's older and there's more people that have passed, and it's older. You just feel it, and here it's a way different feel.
Well,
Wow.
it's funny. I was looking up a chart on light pollution because I like going out and looking at the stars and stuff. And right along sort of the Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa area is like this little line that stops with a lot of lights to the east of it, and then almost nothing in the center part of the U.S., and then lots of lights along the west coast. And I think that has a lot to do with it. The Midwest wasn't as populated back in the old time as much as the East Coast up into Missouri and that area. So yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the age of settlement as the settlers came into those areas.
Yeah, you're right.
Plus also a lot of the Civil War happened in a lot of those states around there: Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Missouri,
Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Those are the places I've been. It's called me.
I kind of feel like there's more of a native energy here.
Yeah, there is.
And then there are a lot of war type of energy.
Yep.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know, because I've never been over there. So
I didn't get a lot of negativity back east. I got a lot of sadness.
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of sadness due to the fact that you had brothers fighting brothers during the Civil War, and yeah, just a lot of the war was depressing. You had a lot of slavery back and everything. Yeah.
Did I answer this one?
Yeah, we got a question from James. Michelle, I feel spirits and ghosts are different. What's your view?
Okay, my view, and I do feel that they are different. I feel that spirits are good. They're possibly family members. They could be your guardian angels or whatever. They're here. They come or they leave this earth. They go to the spirit realm. They go to the light, and then they come back to visit their family members and people who they've loved. I think that's what spirits are. Ghosts, to me, are people that have possibly died tragically, who are earthbound, who possibly were afraid to go to the light because they weren't sure if that light was going to take them to heaven or hell or possibly purgatory, and they're stuck here. And that's what I think a ghost is. And I think a spirit is more family oriented or something good, someone that looks after you.
That's really interesting. I've heard different takes on the difference. One guest that we've had on a plethora of times, Nick Humphreys, who is a medium in the UK, he believes that spirits are intelligent. Ghosts are more like residual energy.
Yep.
So it's interesting to hear different takes on that.
I see that. There's a lot of takes.
Yeah, I mean, there would have to be, because how would you then correlate a negative entity or spirit or ghost?
I don't feel that spirits are bad. I feel like they're good energy. Ghosts, on the other hand, residual, of course, that sounds right. And
Mhm.
earthbound and died tragically, or is lost, or can't find their way. Or,
So a ghost can be intelligent also then.
oh yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Okay.
The Perrysville battlefield was an amazing place too. We witnessed some things that were just, I can't even explain. I mean, what we saw, or what I saw. Saw the men laying in the field dying on the night vision scope and caught the battle cry. I will do that place again for sure. And what happened is that we were walking up this hill, and it was called Blood Hill. And there is the Union and the Confederate soldiers, of course, fighting each other. And the Union would be up on the top of the hill while the Confederate soldiers were climbing up that hill. Then the Union soldiers ambushed them and just did a huge massacre on them. And there was so much blood and so many bodies laying on that ground. And the reason why they called it Blood Hill is because the blood was coming down the hill from all the bodies that had been killed. And these men were climbing up this hill and stepping on their soldiers and everything. And we went up to the very top of this hill next to this cannon, and we were all looking through the scope. And I went and I grabbed it, and I started to look into this scope, and I'm looking down the field at the bottom of the hill, and there's flowers and everything there. And I was saying, it could have been pareidolia, but what I saw was not pareidolia. The flowers didn't form into these men. What I saw were men who had been killed, and they're stuck in the situation that they're in. They relive it over and over and over. And I was looking through this night scope, and unfortunately there was no record button on it because it was just a regular night scope. But I looked down the hill, and I'm like, oh my God. And I started to be overwhelmed with grief and sadness. And I started to cry because what I saw was a man laying down on his side, and he was gasping for air. His mouth was moving up and down like like that. And they're like, let me see. And I didn't tell him what I saw at first. And my friend Tammy grabbed the scope, and she started to look, and she's looking, and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, what do you see? And I'm crying. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed. And she goes, I see men. I see men laying in the field. I see one man. Oh my God, he's gasping for air. So she saw what I fucking saw. And now, sorry about the profanity.
That's okay.
But now, if I ever go back, and of course, Nene and I will go back, I would like to get a scope because I know the exact spot where I saw this, and I'd like to have a recording of this because if people could see what I saw and what Tammy saw, it was a holy grail. It was just unseen. It was just amazing. It was crazy. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Whew. And that stays in my head too. I can't get that out of my head. I still see it to this day.
Sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
It was.
I hope I can make it there someday.
Yeah.
You come with me. I'll go with you.
Okay.
All right, Brian, do we want to play her next video?
Yeah, I love this one. I love how excited everyone gets.
This is the Jackson House one, right?
Yeah. In Eureka, Nevada, the Jackson House.
Where we're going to go in the fall.
It was.
I hope I can make it there someday. I'll go with you.
Okay.
All right, Brian, do we want to play her next video?
Yeah, I love this one. I love how excited everyone gets.
This is the Jackson House one, right?
Yeah. In Eureka, Nevada, the Jackson House.
Where we're going to go in the fall.
Doesn't want to play. Let me do something real quick.
Hang on, guys. Hang on. It's coming.
Can you tell me how many people are in this room? What was that girl's name? Susan, are you here? You are? Where are you from?
Michelle LeBaron.
You said your full name. Holy crap, girl. I didn't hear that. Michelle LeBaron. Who said that? I've got chills. Oh my god, my eyes are watering. Holy crap. Was that recorded? Yes, if I have my recorder on. He's recording. You said my name. Thank you so much. I am just numb at the moment. Thank you. Can you say my name again?
I do.
Love it.
Actually playing over.
Please.
I'm going to play it again. Clean it up.
Yes! Thank you so much! Oh, thank you! Oh my god! He's good again! Oh, thank you! You have no idea how happy that makes me! Thank you! That was awesome! So emotional! Oh, was that Susan who said my name? Oh my God.
Can you say someone else's name? Did you say Pedro?
I have a lag.
You have that recorded, right? Yeah. Mark's got it on video.
Okay, now it's playing over.
Can you tell me how many people are in this room?
Twice. Okay. Can you fast forward it?
No.
What was that girl's name? Susan, are you here? You are? Where are you from?
Michelle LeBaron.
God, you said your full name. Holy crap, girl. I didn't hear that. Michelle LeBaron. Who said that? I've got chills. Oh my God, my eyes are watering. Holy crap. Was that recorder? Yes, if I have my recorder on. He's recording. I'm recording. Oh, you said my name. Thank you so much. I am just numb at the moment. Thank you. Can you say my name again? I would love it. Please. Yes! Oh my God! Oh my God! Thank you so much! Oh my God! Thank you! Oh my God! You just did it again! Oh, thank you! You have no idea how happy that makes me! Thank you! That was awesome! So emotional!
Pray.
Holy cow. Oh my God. Was that Susan who said my
I'm playing, I
name?
can't tell because of my lag.
No one's hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I really let me know when we're back.
Oh my God.
Can you say someone else's name? Did it say Pedro?
You have that recorded, right?
Yeah. Mark's got it on video.
Oh my God. I am just like, my name is Michelle LeBaron. Michelle LeBaron. That's my name. Wanda? Was it Wanda the one who said Michelle LeBaron?
I got 7 minutes. I don't know. I'll try to
I just want to say thank you. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Lisa, thank you. You're watching.
What's Lisa's last
someone
name?
behind you.
Overtime.
Rhonda.
Watching the fire.
I heard that before. 3 times. Watching fire.
Gosh, Brian, how
Can
long?
you say, Casey, you said Lisa, you said Rhonda, you said Michelle.
There's 7 hours here.
Can you say someone else's name?
Hey, our chatters are busy
Please.
talking.
Wow, thank you very
Okay, I turned it off.
We're back.
We're back.
Black? Wow. So, tell us where that was, Michelle, and what device you were using.
Okay. What I was using is it's actually a glorified amplifier, guitar amplifier with guitar pedals, and it's got reverse. It's got it's just got the guitar pedals. I lost it there for a second. And what I was using was an ITC application, and what ITC is instrumental trans communication. And what that is that's a process of being able to communicate with the spirit realm through technology like TV, like radio, EVP recorders, You can use ITC application through boiling water, mist. And what I did is I used the ITC application called Spiritus, which was made by Keith Weldon from Chill Seekers. And I've had people say, oh, Michelle probably put that in there and da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm sorry. What I did use is a tablet. And the tablet that has that application has no type of social media. Michelle LeBaron is my maiden name, for one. And Keith Weldon doesn't know me from Adam. I mean, he probably knows of me, but his app was done a couple years ago. And there's just no way in hell I can manipulate that to have a spirit say my full name. But yeah, I use every type of piece of equipment I can. I'll use old school, I'll use new school, whatever I can use to communicate with the spirit realm, I will. So, but that's how it is. That's that.
What do you think about that, Bri?
Yeah, that was actually quite interesting. I was going to ask what type of equipment that was, because I've seen something similar to that being used, because I remembered that kind of an echoey sound. And I was looking into seeing about using something like that. I myself, I'm not a big SB7 or 11 or Ghost Box or Frank Box believer, and that's just me. I know how radio frequencies work. So, yeah, but that was very, very interesting. And it was not only a man, but I also heard female voices within that.
Yes. And the cool thing is Nokia Tesla, he heard the first voices from the spirit realm using the Tesla coil. So, everyone all claims, oh, well, why use the new school stuff, the new technology? Why not we use the old school methods? Well, for their information, the Tesla coil is old school. It was one of the first pieces of equipment that was able to contact spirit speaking. So it makes me laugh sometimes.
Well, not only that, I mean, the pioneers of the paranormal field used different techniques. And one of them that was quite interesting to me was the undeveloped film. They would put that into a box or leave it spooled up, and the spirits would write upon the film by changing the magnetic properties of the atmosphere around it.
That's interesting. Didn't know that. That's cool.
What would you say, speaking of different types of equipment and stuff, what would you say, Michelle, is your favorite that you like to use?
Well, I always say myself, because, my senses, I use my senses first before anything else. And then I'll use like the old school stuff, like maybe a bell or an old tape recorder, with the little tiny tapes. I'll use stuff like that. I'll use all these different types of methods, like a piece of fishing wire with a bell attached to it. There's just so many different techniques. And if I can't get anything through the older methods, then I jump on to the newer methods, because I always say to myself is no method is a wrong method when you're trying to find answers. So I incorporate everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest thing is what we use our senses no matter what. I mean, and with being pitch black, your eyesight is limited. Therefore, your other senses do pick up. Your hearing, Smell. I wouldn't say taste. I haven't tasted anything.
Taste of the spirit. Yeah. No.
maybe metallic taste.
Yeah, I've had that, like taste of blood before, or metallic, like different taste.
I actually have heard something about that before. Depending on how if it's a negative attachment and everything, you do get that kind of a coppery, ironish taste in your mouth.
I haven't had that happen to me, but I think Lisa Hawkins has experienced that before, if I'm correctly.
Well, I think that everybody kind of experiences something like that differently due to the fact that we're not all the same. Our chemistry makeup is not all the same. So, yeah.
You know what another good method is blindfolded. You're in a room by yourself and you're blindfolded and there's no one else there and you can smell and you can hear things. Same thing, you can, plug your ears and have your eyes just do your different types of senses. You might capture some things that you wouldn't with all the senses together.
And
a lot of this when we go to Rock Canyon or Washoe Club or wherever.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to kind of attune myself to the location. I'll go and sit inside of the building and just kind of be quiet and just kind of meditate there to get a feel for the location.
What's that look, Bri?
Oh, my computer did something weird over here.
Well, guys, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Michelle, for being here.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you so very much. I would love to actually get up to Reno and meet you and do an investigation with you.
Yes, I would absolutely love that.
She'll be here, right? You ain't going nowhere, right?
I'm staying.
You're not moving like Jen.
No, I'll be here a while.
Okay.
I still have a kid, He's in high school. Once he's out of high school, then, I'll probably, I don't know, maybe venture off.
He'll get your hair
maybe to Florida. Right, Nene? Or California. I love Cali.
Michelle, James says, I'm a clairvoyant, but my team uses spirit boxes, K2s, lasers, stuff like that, even Ghost Pro and terminal imagers. Thermal imagers, that would be. Do you use gear like that?
I use it all. I use everything. I use every piece of equipment that's out there that I can get my little hands on.
You like the SLS though a lot, don't you?
I love my SLS. My good friends Jeff Conkle and Scott Grumwald built. I have the first prototype one of the first prototypes that they made, and they gave it to me. And Jeff likes to make things, and he'll give them to me to try out. I'm kind of
nice. The guinea pig.
Yeah, and then if it works, then he jumps on it and he makes more. And
yeah, that's what we did when I was in the military. We developed a video downlink box and everything, and for us to prove it, we gave it to the Navy SEALs to see if they could break it, and they did.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've got to end. Unfortunately, we don't really have a whole lot of announcements, do we, Bri?
No, we don't. I just want to say, just be nice to your fellow investigators out there. Look after each other, and please be kind.
Thank you, James.
We will not be having a show for about a month, guys. Do you want to explain why, Bri?
Yeah, my lovely wife is having a birthday, and I decided to take that night off and spend it with her. I mean, she has been the love of my life for going on 29 years now.
Right.
So I think she deserves that.
She's amazing. I love her. So yeah, you guys have a great time. We will be back on September 27th, but we don't really know what we're going to be doing. We don't have a guest plan for that day. We were going to have a paranormal round table, but we decided to wait.
We're going to wait on the round table, and I'm going to be doing some more technology upgrades here on the system, and we actually might come back with doing video.
Yeah. I don't know. That means I'll have to do my makeup, Bri.
She's the front of the camera. I'm the behind the scenes and everything kind of person. So what she doesn't know won't hurt her.
Well, yeah. So we'll figure out a really cool show for September 27th. We might just do a really cool location for you guys. But in October, we will have Jason Nelms starting us off there in October.
That, or just come into the chat room and ask us questions, and we'll tell you more about us and more about what we do and what we did before we got into this lovely, I wouldn't say profession, hobby.
Passion.
Yeah, this has become a passion.
Mine's a calling.
Calling, there we go. And we can discuss this and just have a great old talk.
Yeah, sounds good to me. We'll let you guys know, of course, soon. In 2 weeks, I will go live again, and we will pick another trivia winner, just for the sake of it. And that reminds me, our winner chicken dinner for tonight was or is Tina. So Tina is honorable member for the next 2 weeks on Haunting the Afterlife group page. I did put the link there in the chat, along with Michelle's link, and along with our new Mr. Gang group page. So check that out as well. So Tina can post what... Oh, sorry about that, guys. That was awkward.
Who forgot to turn their phone off?
My computer. Damn computer. These Macs, man. But now I lost my train of thought. She could post whatever she wants as long as it's paranormal related for the next 2 weeks on Haunting the Afterlife group page. And that reminds me, Michelle LeBaron is actually our honorable member on our Mr. Gang page because she won the trivia.
Yay!
So,
I gotta post some things.
Yeah, you do. So she could post on both our Mr. Gang pages, our fan page and our group page. So yeah, that's
if you haven't, go out to our Facebook page, go out to our YouTube page, give us a like and stuff, and put your links on there. Message us to them, and we'll go out, take a look at your groups, and follow you.
Yep, for sure. James says, next time, hope I do better at the trivia, Susie. James, you will have your moment. And besides, you're going to be our guest in January. So that'll be awesome. So guys, that's a wrap. I want to thank you, Michelle LeBaron. You are just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Michelle, you are an absolutely wonderful person. Amazing. I love the stories. I love your enthusiasm for this field.
Thank you.
True
love
ghost
it.
magnet. True ghost magnet. Yeah, such an honor to have you on, Michelle.
I love you too.
We're hugging right now. She's my sister, and I'm so glad I met her. I didn't ever think I would, but I have, and it's been amazing. So, but yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much. We love you as well, our fans, our followers, our listeners, our chatters. We love all of you guys. I want to wish you all love, light, and peace.
Thank you, James. Thank you, my Nene. I love you, and I miss you.